Hello everybody, Bravo here. I was going to show you about 20 minutes of footage from Tahiti, 8mm, super 8mm home movie vacation from Tahiti. But anyhow, my projector, the motor went bad, and I think it almost caught fire. You'll see at one part in this video where the film stops and it starts to glow red, and I caught it in time, and the tape did not catch on fire. So maybe, but I only got about 5 minutes of Tahiti, and the worst part is it was right when the dancer was coming on. Right when the best part come on, the damn projector broke. And here's the thing, I got like 6 or 7 old projectors all around the property, and every one of them have a problem. So the moral of the story is it may be a while before I can show some more tapes because excuse me, something. There we go. It might be a while before I can show some more tapes until I get me a good Super 8mm projector. So this, anyhow, enjoy this one. A couple days ago, maybe it was yesterday or a couple days ago, I was driving down the road. I had some thoughts on the Federal Reserve banking cartel and how they're blaming, and how the media is blaming Biden for just about everything, when it's actually it's been going on for many, many years. Every president is complicit. Yeah, I mean, sure, Biden's involved with the scam, but he's just the latest of the criminals. I mean, every president has signed their John Hancock to get those all those fake dollars rolling. So anyhow, I'll go ahead and it's a little long, a little winded that day. I was driving in the truck. So these are my thoughts on the Federal Reserve coming up. And then at the end, you'll see a little bit of the Tahitian dancer. And I'll keep my fingers crossed, and I hope to find a good projector, and we'll continue with these movies. But it's going to kill me if I have to go to eBay to buy one of these projectors. I don't know where the hell you'd get an old vintage projector. Yeah, you have to go to eBay. I might try a few garage sales, but they're getting harder and harder to find these old projectors. So anyhow, here's my thoughts on the Federal Reserve banking cartel and how they're blaming Joe Biden for everything. And I'll see you, and who knows when. So, what's the big talking points, the trending in the news lately? If you ever listen to the radio, commercials, maybe even on TV, but definitely the radio, you already hear commercials saying, talking about Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and the liberal Democrats are spending so much money that the inflation is going to wipe out the little guys. So, all of a sudden, everybody's talking about prices going up and inflation. And of course, the Republicans they're on their game. The Republicans are going to blame all of this on Biden and Pelosi and the rest of the gang. The only problem is, it's all a goddamn lie. Think about it. Sometimes for the federal money to even hit the public, they say 2 years sometimes for the federal money to trickle down into the public. I mean, most of this money that was handed out during the pandemic, it came from Donald Trump. It came from the Republicans, right? Yeah. But it's even worse than that. Let's forget about Donald Trump. Donald Trump's no better or no worse than Biden. They're all the same. Donald Trump spent a whole lot of money, just like every other president. They love to spend money. They never save money. So it's actually laughable for Donald Trump or the Republicans to blame this inflation on Biden, who's only been in there for a short amount of time. It's laughable. But let's go back even further. Like I say, I think they're talking like $7 trillion was put in federal money, this pandemic stimulus. I mean, that's probably a lie. It's probably much more than 7 trillion. I don't know if I said trillion. It's a trillion with a T. Let's go back to the 20-year war. 20-year war. Donald Trump was part of that 4 years of that 20-year war. We literally put trillions. We put so many trillions into that war, and all that money is overseas. We don't know how many trillions. It's top. Matter of fact, not only is it top secret how many trillions were spent and sent overseas, I don't even think they really know. That was one of the reasons why the Pentagon, part of the Pentagon, was taken out. So the paperwork on all the lost trillions of dollars, well, we don't really know about those trillions because that part of the Pentagon's no longer here, remember? Remember when 2 airplanes brought down 3 skyscrapers? Yeah, trust me, any country, any public, any bunch of morons who think that 2 jets brought down 3 skyscrapers, of course, if you're that dumb, you're going to think that Joe Biden is the reason why inflation is raising its ugly head right now, when this has been going on for years and years and years. Matter of fact, this is how the Federal Reserve kind of thinks about it. Inflation. The Federal Reserve it's like a magic trick, okay? The way it works is, if you were to ask the Federal Reserve, well, what is good inflation and what is bad inflation? This is how the people who pull the levers, this is how the magicians think about it. Remember, they create money out of thin air. Basically, they think that as long as you're not thinking about inflation, then they can print as much money up as they want. So it's a magical trick. Again, I'll say this, and then I'll tell you the flip side. Inflation is good when you do not notice it. That's what the Federal Reserve thinks. And as long as you, the public, as long as you don't hear about it in the news like we are now, as long as the TV stations and you don't hear about it on the radio, you don't talk about inflation, that means the Federal Reserve can print money at will and it's not a problem. Inflation becomes a problem in the Federal Reserve mind, the Federal Reserve banking cartel's mind. It's a problem when people notice it. So basically, when you notice that these trillions of dollars are raising your prices, then it's a problem. And that's what we have now. And it just happened to be, as Joe Biden is in office, that people are starting to notice it. And again, he has not been in there that long, but he's going to take the blame for it. Whether it's right or wrong, Joe Biden will get the blame. And this goes back the same way in the 1970s with Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was blamed for the inflation of the late 70s, and we went into a recession in the early 80s, a huge recession. How? Federal Reserve banking cartel leader Paul Volcker came in, raised interest rates dramatically, killed the economy, and saved the dollar. That's what they think. So he was a pretty bad SOB, wasn't he? Paul Volcker was a bad mofo. He raised the interest rates. He didn't care what you thought. We went into a bad recession in the early 80s, and that's the way the economy used to work. But things are different now. That was early 80s. Okay, anyhow, Jimmy Carter got blamed for something that he had. It really was not Jimmy Carter's fault. The oil and the gasoline prices going up, coffee going up. It was the Vietnam War. Matter of fact, that's why the gold window was closed. That's why Nixon had to close the gold window, because France and Germany had already figured out that the Vietnam War was costing us so much money, and that we would have to print so many fake dollars that Germany and France kept on sending over 35 Federal Reserve notes to get an ounce of gold. That was the gold window. That means that France or Germany would send us $35, we would give them an ounce of gold. Well, that was a good deal for Germany, and it was a good deal for France and anybody else. But it was a horrible deal for America, because we were printing money, buku money, for the Vietnam War. We're going through this all again, aren't we? But I'm telling you, we don't have a Paul Volcker this time to raise interest rates. We don't have a Paul Volcker. There's no saving the economy now. No. At this point, they're going to go into some sort of weird magical money, universal basic income. We're going into this. Alice is going down the rabbit hole, okay? We're going down the rabbit hole, and this is going to get surreal. Oh, I mean, it's already surreal. What we have experienced in the last 2 years with this pandemic is surreal. You literally feel like you're going down the rabbit hole and you don't know where you're going to end up, and that's where we're at. This is going to get crazy. I would say get some popcorn and enjoy the ride, but I don't really think it's going to be that enjoyable. No. I don't think you're going to be able to hold on to your popcorn because it's going to get pretty bumpy. Yeah, it's going to get really bumpy. Moral of the story, Biden will be blamed for it because that's politics. That's politics. And that's what's trending on the news.